Hello, everybody. My name is Ben with Bolo Disc Golf. As I said in my first video, I just started playing disc golf recently, so I'm pretty new to the game. And, but I have kind of decided on what company I'm going to be throwing. I know I don't have to pick one or the other, but I do kind of prefer like the smaller brands um, because that's how we grow and diversify is by getting kind of spreading the love all around. But as you can see from down below here and my hat, I've been essentially throwing mainly Viking discs, and you may or may not have heard of them, but I just kind of wanted to go into one aspect of their discs that I don't think most people have covered so far, and that is their plastics. So let's get into it. So the first plastic up is essentially going to be the easiest one to find, and as part of their starter packs is their ground plastic, and you'll see it right here. And what I like about this plastic is that it's a lot more flexible comparatively to other companies, which makes it great for approach shots. Yes, but it's great for approach shots and whenever you just need it to get down to the ground and stop where it needs to go. Comparatively to other base plastics like the Dynamic Disc Prime plastic, this one, it's kind of flexy, but it does take a lot more effort trying to get it to fold. So it will carry a little longer. And here's the Innova AVR in the DX plastic, and still pretty rigid. But this thing just kind of folds like a taco and doesn't snap back, while the other ones kind of do. They kind of come back to their original shape. But that's kind of one thing you don't want to do with any of the plastics is like fold them too many times. But anyway, I digress. Essentially, Viking Discs makes all their discs in ground plastic. So their high-speed distance drivers, their fairway drivers, their mid-ranges, and their putters. So every disc that they have is in the ground plastic. So you can find what you want and stick with it. As far as durability goes for it, I've been using the putter for quite a while. And comparatively, I actually think it beats in more slowly, so it doesn't beat in as quickly as some other plastics. So it will maintain its line a little bit longer comparatively to other base plastics. As far as like throwing, so I'll use my mid-range as an example. It does take a bit of a beating. So this will beat in quicker as you hit harder objects like trees and things like that. But I still think it's pretty good plastic for the price comparatively. On to armor plastic. So their armor plastics they make in all their line as well. So we got our fairway, we have a mid-range, and we have a putter. So I would compare these to the Star plastic, but with a lot more durability comparatively to Star plastic. So these things you will be chucking off the tee and they'll be hitting trees and things like that. And it'll take several months before it really gets beaten in to a point where it starts becoming too flippy. So yes, these are essentially going to be my throwing discs. So anything off the tee, armor's the way I go. So let's compare to the Star plastic. So as far as flexibility goes, Star takes a bit of effort. And then a little more flex, just a little bit, but probably like one tick down. But good discs, I like them. Moving on to the Storm plastic. Alright, so the Storm plastic is their Lucid plastic. So that's going to be your VIP, your Lucid, your Champion, and so on and so forth. So this is their putter. Flexes pretty well. But if we compare that to the VIP plastic from Dynamic Discs or Westside Discs, this I actually think is slightly more flexible than compared to the Storm plastic. But it's not to say that's a bad thing. It's just different. But it's fine. I mean, I like it well enough. But I think armor's the way I'm going to go. When it comes to throwing discs, these are kind of just out there. If you like the look of the translucent stuff better than the opaque stuff, pick up the Storm plastic. And now we will move on to the Air plastics. So the Viking Disc Air is going to be like your VIP Air for, or your Opto Air plastics in the Latitude 64 and as well. So they're lighter weight discs, which make them more flippy. And then with that being the case, they are a lot more understable. Obviously, that's what flippy means. So I actually kind of prefer to go with more overstable discs, and that's the thing about their VIP Air, is that they have kind of a limited run of VIP Air discs. So it's only like about 3 or 4 discs that are in that VIP Air category. And most of them are going to be overstable because you don't want the disc to flip over and never come back. So unless that's what you're looking for, but there's other discs you could use to do that. So we have Thor, which is a 1402 in that lightweight. Yes, this is lightweight. It's about 161 to 3. And then we have a 162. So comparatively, it's heavier than like the Opto Air, easy to use Latitude 64, like Diamond line, the Jade, the Pearl, and so on and so forth. So it is slightly heavier, but it still does kind of flip up some and then fight back. It's still good for newer players because it will get them that shot shape that's a little different. And I am enjoying it. Like, my arm speed is starting to pick up more. The Thor at 14 speed is still too overstable, even in the Air plastic. Just because I can't get it up to the proper speed at this time. The Ragnarok looks actually quite good. Gets me a little right and then a dump left. And then the Barbarian, it's kind of turning, like as my game progresses, it's turning into a more utility disc, especially in the air plastic, because I'm putting more things on an Anheuser angle and it's just taking off on me. So gotta be careful with that. But essentially, there is one more category of discs there, and that will be the war paint. So the war paint discs are essentially custom die discs. They're all going to be the same. They're not going to have a whole lot of distinct differences between different war paints. So they're all going to be of the same line. So we have the Thor in war paint. We have Ragnarok in war paint. And we have the Rune in war paint. They don't go into a whole lot of detail, but I'm pretty sure these are all armor. Essentially, they're armor discs, white, and then they just put these custom prints on top to give them these actually pretty cool looking dies on top. But if you're going to compare it, I think comparing them to the armor is going to be the best place to go with them. But that's a quick run through of the Viking Discs line of plastics, and I hope this helps in whenever you're looking at them and kind of getting a better understanding of what they might be used for. And good luck and good throwing.